ladies and gentlemen? Why don't we? But first, let's hear him in the fantastic Frost Nixon.
These men, Holden and Ehrlichman, I knew their families. I knew them since they were just kids. Oh, yeah, but you know, politically, the pressure on me to let them go, that became overwhelming. So I did it. I cut off one arm, then I cut off the other, and I'm not a good butcher. And I have always maintained what they were doing, what we were all doing, was not criminal. Look, when you're in office, you gotta do a lot of things sometimes that are not always, in the strictest sense of the law, legal. But you do them because they're in the greater interests of the nation.
Right, wait, just so I understand correctly. Are you really saying that in certain situations, the president can decide whether it's in the best interests of the nation and then do something illegal?
I'm saying that when the president does it, that means it's not illegal.
I'm sorry?
That's a great moment from a great movie. Will you please welcome Mr. Michael Sheen?
Do it to me one more time. Give me one more chance this heart of mine. Do it to me one more time.
I'm delighted to have you on. I've admired your work for a long while now.
Oh.
Congratulations on Frost Nixon. Did you see the film Frost Nixon, ladies and gentlemen? Absolute cracker. I loved it. It was a tremendous piece of work. You must have been thrilled with the reception it got.
Yeah, it was great. It was like the second time I've been in a film that ended up at the Oscars for Best Film.
So the first one was Queen, of course.
It was indeed.
Well, and how was that
the
for
film
you? Going...
about Freddie Mercury.
Yeah. Well, actually...
Helen Mirren was marvellous as Brian
Freddie.
May, wasn't she? Fantastic.
How is it for you then going to the Oscars? So this is obviously the second time for this film, but it still must be quite an overwhelming event to be.
Oh yeah,
in the
it's
movie.
amazing. You sit there in the auditorium, look around at all the most famous people in the world in the most glamorous outfits, and you just think there is nowhere more glamorous than this. The only problem this year was that because I did the play of Frost Nixon for like a year and a half or something, 350 performances, then the film, and I'm sitting there at the Oscars, and who's sitting next to me? David Frost. I can't get away from him.
Well, they must think it's a cute idea, finally, to put you next to him. Because I know
Yeah.
the BAFTAs you came out together and did a bit of business together, so obviously everyone thinks it's a great idea. And when your name first came off for this show, I said, I know a great idea. Let's bring David Frost out to surprise him. And I'm glad now that we're not doing that, because I know that you're probably kind of pleased to get away from him.
No, I mean, it's great seeing him, but I still can't get used to getting a phone call from him. Like, the phone rings, and he says, "Hello, Michael." And I say, "Yes, hello, it's David here." I said, "David who?" "If anyone in the world should recognise my voice, Michael, it's you." And he said to me the other day, I was calling you today because tomorrow I'm going to Nicaragua. Only David Frost tells you that.
Also, only David Frost says Nicaragua, like that.
Nicaragua.
He always seems so full of enthusiasm, it's like, which I love about him. But did he enjoy seeing you doing... I know he likes people talking about his career. He enjoys that, and quite rightly. But did he enjoy your performance of it?
I think so. I think he got used to it, over time. The first time he came to see it was when we were at the Donmar Theatre in Covent Garden, very small theatre, and he just sat at the back and he didn't let anyone know that he was in. And then I met him in the bar afterwards, and I don't know who was more nervous, him or me, because it's weird to meet someone that you've just played.
Must be.
But I would imagine incredibly weird to actually watch someone else play you as well. I don't know what's the more strange situation. So we were both a bit shaky when we met. And I said, is it weird for you to watch the events of your life up there? And he said, in the words of Yogi Berra, it's like déjà vu all over again. And I thought he was referring to the cartoon character Yogi Bear. Apparently, there's an American baseball player called Yogi Berra who said that. I thought he was referencing a cartoon character.
So you laughed politely and pretended you know.
I laughed politely, and thought, he's obviously on drugs.
Did he? So aside from the realisation that he's a heavy drug user, was there anything else from your meeting that you then put into the performance? Did he give you any tips, or did you...
Well, I had the other night we did there was a sort of charity screening of Frost Nixon, and they had the brilliant idea of getting us together before, and we did a sort of a Q&A thing together. But it was the first time I've ever been interviewed with him. I've been interviewed by him, I've interviewed him, but we were both interviewed together in front of an audience, and I was asked, about how what did I see in him that I tried to use in the character. And it's one thing I've realised, it's one thing talking about that when he's not there, and it's another thing talking about it when he is there. And so I said, you know, the way his bottom teeth sort of jut out like a piranha. And he's sitting there going, yes, that's right, yes. He was loving it.
Now, previously, you know, we said it's strange for you to meet someone who you're kind of doing. I mean, it's not, you're not mimicking them as such. It's not an imitation. It's not an impersonation. You're acting a part, but as them, of course. And you've done it before. You've done it a couple of times before that I'm aware of. Certainly, Tony Blair was the first time I think many of us were aware of you as an actor. First in the TV thing, and then again you brought him back in The Queen. Has he seen your performance? Have you met him? Do you know what he thinks of that?
I've never heard anything from him officially.
So nothing one way or the other? Or?
Nothing one way or the other. The closest I've got to him is that I had a dream one night. And,
I don't know whether legitimately this counts as actually
it doesn't
feedback.
really count, does it? But I have a feeling that his reaction in the dream to me... I was on the top deck of a double-decker bus, and he got on the bus, and he came upstairs, he sat opposite me, he just looked at me, and he went, you cheeky bugger. And I sort of feel like that maybe...
Yeah, I think that would probably be the case. But there was a terrific, I would have thought, a terrific chance for you to get that. You must have thought, when that part first came along, I'm going to play Tony Blair, you know, he's something too good to pass up.
Yeah, in a way, but then there's also, like, it's so strange that I've ended up playing these real-life people and that I've kind of got known for that.
You have been very much known for that now, haven't you?
Yeah, and because I was never any good at doing that kind of stuff when I was growing up. And so I'm still really frightened at the prospect of playing someone like that because everyone's so familiar with them, you know, Kenneth Williams, Frost, Blair, Clough. You know, these are people that we know really well. And the idea of me, I sit there on day one of the research, which is usually about 3 months before we start filming, and start looking at footage and think, where do you start? I can't do it.
So you accept the part before you've worked out how you're going to do it, how you're going to
I
try
have
and
no
recreate
idea.
them?
Yeah, no idea. I accept the part on the basis of the script, and I think it's a good script. I think it'll, you know, challenge me and it'll be a stretch and all that. And then I have the grace period of the first month where it's still way off and I haven't got to worry about it and I just watch all the footage and that's great. And then at a certain point it hits me, you have to be this, but you have to play this person. Yeah. And then I panic.
You're going back to the role one last time, aren't you? Is that right?
Yeah, this summer we're making a film about Blair and Clinton.
Oh, really? Clinton?
Yeah. Not George Clinton. The funk master.
No, I'm the funk master.
Yeah,
now.
you
We
are.
heard that earlier.
You are a great funk master. You really are.
I'm a grand funk master. And do you know? Can you tell us who's going to play Clinton yet? Or you don't know yet?
Well, we were hoping that maybe you'd step up.
I'm ready.
We need someone with charm, charisma, and who's maybe let himself go a little.
Can't think of anyone
No,
who fits
no, mate.
the last part of that.
Do you know, I was watching, I don't know, watching all the comic relief stuff, and there was, like, clips of years ago.
Yeah, well, bear in
you
mind,
were
I've
a
done
handsome man, Jonathan.
what do you mean I was a handsome man? Lionel, I'm still handsome, and Lionel, when you sang I Love You, you meant it a little bit.
Of course you
Thank
are.
you, Lionel.
I
Thank
think so.
you. Who are you going to believe? Lionel Richie?
Of course.
Who's got an album to promote, or Michael Sheen? But that was a long time ago, because you're looking at 21 years right there.
I know, and it was great. Seeing you with the floppy hair. My best friend Howell has always reminded me of you. And weirdly, the other week I was looking at pictures of him from the same period, and I thought exactly the same thing. I would have, if I was a girl. I would have.
Where were all those girls 21 years ago? Well, I'm glad you were watching, though. You enjoyed the comic relief night?
Oh, it was fantastic.
The Kilimanjaro climb was quite silly,
And quite obviously, the belt was better than the belt.
Thank you, Michael Sheen. Thank you, Michael Sheen. You're welcome any time.
No wonder this country is on its knees.
That's right.
No wonder.
Fixing belts on people,
Exactly,
yes.
yeah.
Let me ask you about another role you played, which I adored. It was an incredible piece of work, and it was obviously a very low-budget thing. It was made for the BBC. The Kenneth Williams Diaries, when you filmed that. I don't know, once again, how many people saw this. I'll show you a clip in a minute, but remarkable transformation physically there as well. Presumably you lost quite a lot of weight to play that, because he looked so thin.
Yeah. Well, you know, I try to do as much as I can. I don't like sticking things on, like, you know,
So
wigs
prosthetics
and noses. Yeah, I don't like doing that, because I don't really want to draw attention to how much I don't look like the person or whatever. So I do what I can with myself, with my own hair and stuff. But losing weight is something I can do. Well, I'm not going to do it ever again, but it was something I thought I could do.
How much
then.
did you lose then, do you think?
I lost about 3 stone.
Wow, and there's not much of you anyway, so you must have gone down to almost a dangerous weight.
Yeah, and I was doing it whilst we were filming The Queen. It was the next thing I did after The Queen. So when I watched The Queen, because, you know, you film everything out of sequence, I'm in one scene and I'm leaving a room and I'm fat Blair, and when I come out the other side of the door, I'm thin Blair. Because I was losing weight progressively as the film went
People
on.
are thinking, blimey, that's some sort of magic doorway there. It's like he stopped off in Narnia on the way.
It's like Mr. Ben. Going through the door.
It's a fabulous piece of work, and it's called Fabulosa, rather incidentally, but this is a moment here, Fantabulosa, sorry.
Yeah.
And this is a moment which, there are many moments in it where it's kind of up and he's hype and he's out, but I thought this moment kind of helps to sum it up for you if you haven't seen it. Have a look at Michael here at work.
Shut your awful noise. There's a respectable person trying to